Hi guys, nice to meet you if you're new here. Nice to see you if you're not new here. How's it going? I'm doing great. It has been maybe 2 weeks since I uploaded a video because I had been so busy with work. I barely read anything. I haven't had the time to film. I will say though, I did finish reading Catching Fire and Mockingjay, and those will be up. I don't know when, but they will be one day. Anyways, today I can't lift them all up, so I'll lift some of them up. I saw it on TikTok. It was like 10 before the end. That's not what I'm gonna title this, but it's my 10 a bird. The cat's going crazy. My 10 before the end. This isn't 10 books. I just can't lift them all up. 10 books that I want to prioritize before the year ends. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. It doesn't, because I still have to do my December TBR. I also haven't finished my November TBR because I've been so busy. These are 10 books that I would like to get to. They're gonna be on my TBR. I have like an idea for my December TBR that a lot of people do during December. Maybe give me your opinion. I'm thinking of doing bookmas, but not like 12 days of bookmas. I'm thinking of doing like maybe every other day or maybe every couple of days because I am so busy, but I still want to be involved in the bookmas. But I'm thinking of doing bookmas, so that's fun. Woo! Let's talk about the books I want to read. This is one of the first books I bought when I started reading because it was all over TikTok and everybody was like, oh my god, plot twist is crazy. So I'd like to read it, which is The Silent Patient. This has been on my TBR for a really long time. I don't know why I've never read it. Maybe because I'm not really like a thriller reader. I don't read a lot of thrillers. I didn't read a lot of thrillers in the month of October either. Maybe one. I can't even remember. I'm not really a big thriller person. I've read a couple and they're not bad. I do enjoy them when I'm reading, but it's not something that I'm like, let me read, because I scare myself. I will scare myself. I choose not to read thrillers so I don't freak myself out, but I do enjoy them when I do read them. Anyways, this is something that I'd like to prioritize before the end of the year because it doesn't need to be on my TBR for another year. It doesn't. I'm saying it. It doesn't. So hold me accountable. If I don't read this book, hold me accountable. My next book is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This book, I've been so excited to read. I pick up books before I pick this book up. I've been so excited to read this book. It's a second chance romance. I am a sucker for second chance romance. I'm a sucker. I don't read a lot of them, so I guess I'm not that big of a sucker. Second chance romance is super fun to read, or like Friends to Lovers or anything. Anyways, this is second chance romance, and I've heard Kennedy Ryan's writing is so beautiful, so amazing, and a lot of people love their writing. So I would love to join in on this train of Kennedy Ryan and support and love. You know, I would like to read this honestly as soon as possible. I do have to try and get my November TBR done first, but I'm really hoping that I get this done. Next is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I'm just really into reading fantasy right now. I just finished I just finished Ballad of Never After, and that was so whimsical and so fun to read, and so I loved it. And I just want to keep reading fantasy. And I read The Cruel Prince a couple of months ago, and I enjoyed it. So I'm thinking I should read The Wicked King. Like, there's no explanation on why. I'm just thinking I should. Yeah. The fourth one is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I read The Dead Romantics. Maybe at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure. But that was such an amazing book. I loved that book. Definitely a 5-star read. Definitely an amazing book. I think about it still, all the time. And I would like to read another Ashley Poston book, and I want to feel what I felt reading The Dead Romantics. Such a new, fun storyline, and I feel like this one, from what I've gathered, is somewhat similar of like 7 years in the past. Well, I guess it's not similar. Is he a ghost? I don't know. But I want to feel, but I just want to read another Ashley Poston book because I've seen a lot of people love this book, and I want to jump in on that hype train. I do. Sue me. I want to jump in on the train. I want to be a follower, okay? Next book is, it's just the Throne of Glass series. I'd like to start it. I have been going back and forth on which book I'd like to read first, Assassin's Blades or Third of Glass. And I saw a video yesterday that says like you have a harder time understanding Third of Glass if you don't read Assassin's Blades first. I'd like to start this series before the year ends. The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I'm like so excited for this book when it came out, and when I bought this book I was like, I'm going to read that next. And it's still sitting on my shelf. It's still sitting on my shelf. Why? Why? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I really want to read this book. I don't know what is holding me back. And then I want to read Love Redesigned next year, but I can't until I read this one. There's texting in here? Okay, sold. This book I am currently listening to, but I'm only probably only maybe 50 pages in to this book listening to it. I read Magnolia Parks at the beginning of the year, and then I just re-listened to it, and I loved it so much more listening to it. So I wanted to do the same with this one, but I do kind of think I might just like go into reading it instead of listening to it if I'm enjoying this book. So I'd like to finish it. But I'm very much a person who will start a book and then not ever finish it. I have quite a few books that I've started and just like stopped thinking about starting a different book. So I'd like to at least finish this book. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. My mom read this. I bought this a couple months ago, and then my mom bought it and read it, and then she immediately bought the second one and finished it and told me it was amazing. So if that isn't a sign to read these books, because my mom's right about everything and I listen to her for the most part, then I need to read these books. So they're on my list. I'd like to read them for the end of the year. Maybe I'll read it next, who knows? I probably won't, but I'd like to get to this before the end of the year. I don't even know what this book is about. I don't know what a lot of these books are about, obviously, because I haven't told you a single thing about them. Who knows? Then of course, I'd like to read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The movie did just come out, and I told my husband I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie. So this is a priority. This is indeed a priority. I told him I wanted to read this before I watched the movie. This is very high up there too. I did just read the entire Hunger Games series. I wanted to take a break before I started reading this book from the Hunger Games series, because I did just read all three of them. I wanted to take a little break before I started this one, but I need to read it. I do, because I want to watch the movie, and I've heard it's great. I've heard this book is amazing. So this is definitely like at least number 2 on this list. Lastly, of the 10 Before the End books is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have heard nothing but good things about this book. There's no explanation for this book, nothing but good things, and I'd love to jump into this book. Am I a little worried because the second book's not out yet? Maybe a little bit, but I'm super excited to read this book. This one will definitely be read before the end of the year. Guarantee that. I guarantee. This will be read before the end of the year. I follow her on TikTok, and I remember her promoting this book. We're talking about how she wrote a book. I remember these videos, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna read that book. And here it is, finally in my hands. I don't know how many years later. I will read this before the end of the year. That's it. That's our. Okay, does she read? Because she doesn't have any grammar. She doesn't know what's going on. That's my 10 books before the end of the year that I would love to read. No guarantee that I read all 10 of them. I have a hard time sometimes prioritizing books over my phone, because in my mind I get off of work and I'm like, ooh, phone time. I get to spend time on my phone for a little bit, and then I never get off of it. And hopefully getting at least half of these books off of my priority list, so I don't have that many to go into in the new year. These are also all physical books, because I have so many physical books on my TBR that I need to at least get through some of them. These are my priority books. Let me know what your priority books are. I'd love to know some of the books that you want to read before the end of the year, whether it's 10 or whether it's 2. It doesn't matter how much you read. Any reading is great, because there are months where I read a singular book and I can't find myself to read anything else. So reading is personal, so let me know what your books are that you'd like to read before the end of the year. Other than that, let me know if you want to see any bookmas videos. I'd like to do bookmas, but I can't fully commit to 12 full days because I'm afraid if I commit to them that I might miss a day and then I might disappoint myself. So let me know if you would like to see any bookmas videos, what bookmas videos, or if you'd like to see them at all. That'd be great. Other than that, bye. Thanks for watching.